Okay, I won't mess with them for now, but y'all gonna come with me. Judgment time. Yeah. We not asking no questions. We going now.
Nigga fucking crying.
Monkey D. Goofy. D. Goofy. I'm just slobbering this bad guy.
Why would they do that, bro?
Bro, because this kid you ready, don't you? Yeah! No!
Cheers, Mick. Yes, sir. What is good, people? It's your boy T-Rav. I'm back with another video right now. I'm coming to you with the Eternals review. And my, oh my, oh my. I was in for a treat, man. You know, I was feeling tired. You know what I'm saying? I've been up all day. That's fine. I only took a nap last night instead of getting the full 8 hours. But it doesn't matter, you know, because when Mickey says that you gotta come to the theaters, you gotta come to the theaters. And this is one that, you know, it's gotten pushed back a couple times, but I'm here. I'm here now. So, yes, man, the Eternals. Where do I really start? Let's just start with the characters, man, because, like, it's really, really difficult to balance a team of, like, 10 niggas, 10 people or whatever. But I don't know how they did it, but they were able to balance it out really well. Some of the characters that you thought should get more shine at times end up having their peak moments later on, and they really feel like they play an important role. And you know, for the first, oh gosh, it takes a good long time to assemble them, because the movie is about, I would say, about 2.5 hours long, something like that. So it's a hefty movie now, hefty ass movie. You know, we was in for a treat. You know what I'm saying, with Mickey. He wanted to drop all this lore on us, because literally when we get into the movie, we got the credits running from the top on down like it's some, this was a biblical event. Okay, we had to go back in the, it literally started in the beginning. Like, come on, dog, it's biblical, it's biblical. But this is what Mickey does. You know, he drops more and more lore, and then every single legend that we already have, you know what, we'll just go ahead and weave that into our stuff as well. Okay, man, I just love, I'm like, side note, I love how they were just stating these little legends and stuff like that, and like, oh, that was a story of da da da, and this is this, and that was pretty cool how they were breaking down all these myths, quote unquote. But anyway, yeah, going back to the characters, man, like, it's really hard for me right now to think of my favorite Eternal. You know what? No, I'm gonna say that for later. In terms of, like, the mission they were given, you know what I'm saying? They were created by the Celestials, right? To come down and basically assist in the development of human civilization. And, you know, at first and stuff, they weren't making the progress that they wanted to see. And I guess that was expected. And things weren't moving forward like they wanted. But their sole mission mainly was to keep the humans safe, raise the population, and protect them from the deviants, because they have no answer for the deviants. They literally do not have the power or capabilities to fight against them. And honestly, even in the day and age of today, we wouldn't have really been able to deal with the regular deviants anyway if there was enough of them. But the problem in this go-round, right, because they thought they had taken out all the deviants 500 years ago is when they thought they had somewhat snuffed out all of the deviants. You find out later that that's not the case. It was really because the team was forced to break up at that time is why there were threats left around. Yeah, see, because it's crazy, man, because they literally were told, don't do anything. Like, you can't interfere in human conflict. So yeah, while they're there to help them with their development, they're really not. And plus, they already know, obviously, like, this ridiculous technology and all this other things that could advance them way beyond Like even stuff of like what seems like what we have today. But we do have some of the stuff that they were talking about, like steam engines and things like that. But when you're trying to introduce that in 5000 BC Mesopotamia, no, that's not going to work, my guy. Okay? Shout out to Paperboy, Fastos. You know, he's really making the rounds. I'm glad that he's getting so many roles because, you know, I thought for a while that he didn't have that good of acting chops, but he has clearly showed that he is a well-rounded actor. You know, and I respect that. I appreciate it. Because I was messing with him. I was messing with him heavy. But, yeah, like I was saying, I was messing with all of them. But the conflict really came into play, and you saw it happening very early. When they're put in a position, right, where they have all this power, and yet, to a sense, they have both hands tied behind their back. They can't do anything with it except try and protect the humans from the deviants. And while literally it played out perfect in that one scene where the team ended up breaking up later on. Yes, I know I'm skipping way ahead, but that was such an important scene to show, just to reinforce again and again that no, like the humans, they are constantly repeating the same cycle over and over again. It really doesn't matter how much technology you give us, how many resources you give and divvy up. At the end of the day, the result will be the same. And, you know, we saw how that ended and that's what led to Thanos going and doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? To another member of his family popping up. I'm skipping ahead. Okay? This is freaking crazy, man. But what was I saying? But yeah, in 1521, when they were handling the deviants pretty much no problem, and they were kind of doing it in the background while the conquistadors are out here destroying, you know, Aztec and Mayan civilizations out here, like the conquistadors did, stuff like that. And it's senseless brutality, and I think they all recognize that. And Druid, the one with like basically mind control powers, he's ready to put a stop to it, and he's capable. He's very capable, but according to duty and their purpose, they're not meant to interfere at all. Even though they have the power necessary to stop it, they can't do anything at the same time. So that's the conflict that was put on them. Literally, that's their mission. So, and that was their directive programmed into them by the Celestials. So, is it wrong of what's his name, Icarus, for going the way that he ends up going? And you know, I don't want to get to Icarus yet. Because that dude, I'm not gonna lie, I misjudged him. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see that. Saw something, but I didn't see that. So let me talk about the leader of the team, right? Ajax. All right. You are the prime eternal. You've been the leader this entire time. Her powers, from what we saw, really is only healing. So I don't know the extent of her other powers, but I would assume she could kind of manipulate energy. It seems like she was kind of a mix between I'm sure I'm gonna mess it up, Kingu, and then scared the shit out of me, y'all. I'm here by myself and I hear that shit. Come on, man. Oh, fuck. No, but it's like a mix between Kingu's powers and then Cersei's powers, right? because Cersei seems like she could change matter into another form pretty much however she wants. Now, the thing is before, it seems like she could only change the amount that was already there. It's not like she could just make it. But then again, there were some other things she was doing where I was like, okay, she could create matter too. So it seems like her powers definitely had like probably the most ceiling, but I wasn't expecting her to play as big of a role as she ends up playing. But again, I'm skipping ahead because like, hey, what can I do? What can I do? But yeah, I'm the leader, man. Like, you're the Prime Eternal. You've been doing this for so long, longer than people realize. And you just now come to this conclusion. You've been repeating the same cycle over and over again. And at this point, you've let it get so bad that now Thena is breaking down. Like, I just want to know, how good was she in her prime when it's like nothing hindering her whatsoever? And I wouldn't have minded if we got a few more scenes of why couldn't she use that mode? Like, I forget what they called it. Weary something, right? Weary dream or something. But if she could have got to use that mode against some of the people she was going against, besides her own teammates, because she was giving her teammates hell when she pulled that out. All right, giving them hell. But she's breaking down. Druig is clearly like done, bro. He is so far done with it. And it happened back in the day, even before, where, yeah, y'all been able to keep him in check. You know what I'm saying? And he's young and all that. But you have to consider the burden that places on him, literally to go against his instinct of not doing what he is capable of doing, especially when he knows that he could save people and things of that nature. So honestly, he was a character that I didn't see how he was going to be. He kind of stole the show just a touch for me, bro, because I'm not gonna lie to you, he might be top 3, because like the things he was saying, I felt that. Like, and when he had his monologue back in 1521 about like how we're just the same as the deviants, we're just basically slaves, and like it's crazy because he feels like he is a slave to this fate and this purpose that has been placed on him, and yet the power that he has is to enslave other people, and yet he can't do that, but he is the only person that is being treated that way. So he decides, forget that. I'm about to flip this around. No more. Y'all are done. And he shuts it all down. He literally walks outside, and then everybody just stops. The whole country being sieged at the moment is all the Aztec folks, all of the conquistadors. They all stop, and then they're ready to follow, because that's how powerful this dude is. It's honestly crazy, because he controlled, bro, it felt like he controlled a whole country worth of people. And Icarus was on that ass quickly, and he said, no, like, I'm not gonna stop. If you want to stop me, then you gotta kill me. And Ajax made a decision at that moment. Said, let him go. You know, I think actually all of y'all should go. And in the end, she made the right call. She made the right call because she had faith in her people that, yeah, y'all go live life. You know what I'm saying? Go see what it actually means to live your life, and then you'll come to your own conclusion by the end of what you can and should not do. But really, I think she knew by the end that they were going to kind of come to this conclusion. And yeah, there was some luck involved with it, but it did play out in that way, and it wouldn't have happened that way if they had all stayed together, I think, because there was clearly cracks in the foundation already. And honestly, Ajax, like, in terms of long-term planning, not the worst leader, but you gotta learn how to navigate that better. It's like, you know, that's the problem when you have a team that's basically like a family. You're gonna have disagreements, and you're eternal people. So, you know, you feel like, you know, hey, I'll go off for 1,000 years or whatever, and I'll see them again eventually. Hell, we ain't going nowhere. And it's not like the Celestials have come a knocking, even though the Deviants haven't been around in a long time. Seems like we're waiting for no reason. But when they do come back, what happens? Oh, wait, there's a new threat on the horizon because the Deviants have come back, but this time there's a new twist. This time they've learned how to evolve. But we realize from the bro, bro, this Celestial Aramesh, I'm sorry if I'm messing it up, okay? I think it's Aramesh, right? Dude, what are you doing? You stirred up so much shit for no reason, my guy. Like, was there really any reason to go this hard right now? No, but that's the cycle and balance of it. So we've come to find out, right? Well, like I said, like, if we go all the way back to the beginning of the movie, they dropped a lot of stuff in the very beginning, like, scene that, you know, I can't just stick all that stuff in my brain and it sticks, right? So, but from when I try it together, yeah, in the beginning, there's these Celestials. They make the suns they create the suns and galaxies, basically, that end up creating the universe that we have. And then they also, at the same time, are planting seeds for Celestials, so that when certain planets do reach a maturation process, which we come to find out is just the excess of life, or life flourishing to a point where it provides enough energy, and then the Celestials emerge from those planets. So really, it's almost like a natural process, and it's basically like if a planet is dying, like just because it's been so old and it's reaching its natural end, you wouldn't say that that's like a bad thing just because the planet's reached its end. It's just that those people are unlucky enough to be on the planet when that time has come. But with the stuff that's been going on with the Infinity War and Endgame and all the different things that have been happening, I definitely feel like that sped up the timeline, or maybe it delayed it. Who knows? I don't know if they mentioned that or not, or confirmed that for sure. But if that was confirmed that they delayed it, then that's great. But if it sped it up from all those things happening, then there's really, it's not really the Eternals' fault. And like I said, they weren't given the full scope of their mission, and really only the Prime Eternal was. And like I said, not the greatest leader. You you didn't have trust in your team in the first place to let them know that all their memories have been wiped in the first place, and that, hey, they're not 7,000 years old like they thought. They're millions of years old. They've done this over and over and over and over again. Like I was saying that the Celestial is the bad guy, is because the Celestial created them to be like this. What we didn't know is that he actually created the Deviants before, because it was almost like a prototype for the Eternals. And he made the Eternals so that they never evolved, correcting his mistake. He literally admits that he made a mistake with how he created the Deviants. And so now it's the Eternals' job, I guess, is the upgraded version, to take out the Deviants. But like I said, the Deviants have the ability to evolve, and one of them goes so far as to gain sentient life at the expense of our team. Now, pretty early on, Salma Hayek is off screen. We come upon her, she's already dead, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what's kind of galvanizing the unit to get back together. And so we got to go off and find So we already have Cersei. You know, she's, yeah, I'm not gonna get into all the unnecessary stuff, but Cersei and Sprite, we already got. Icarus pops up pretty quick, because when the deviants first start popping up, you know, it's a little too much for Cersei and Sprite to handle by themselves, which I kind of like the fact that, in a sense, like, they kind of have to have everybody there, because really only Icarus and, I would say, Thena. Oh shit, well, I mean, there's a few then. Icarus, Thena, Gilgamesh, those are the main ones that were well-rounded fighters all around, you know what I'm saying? They could really take these things on 1v1. The others have powers that is more kind of trickery based, and so they have to be more strategic in how they're using their powers and win. So as the deviants is kind of overwhelming them at first, overwhelming Sprite and Cersei, which Sprite has some pretty cool powers. Like, her illusions is pretty wild. Like, that's hella extensive. That's like how the older Loki was in the Loki series. So that's high level. Like, she literally created hella mountains by the end. So you know that's extremely high levels of power that we're talking about right there, right? And then Cersei, like I said, she can manipulate matter and then possibly create it. So it's still broken powers, but if they were to have a base level of physical ability too, they would kind of be extra broken. Because, like, it'd be like, how the hell you gonna deal with it? So they're not that physically gifted. One person who surprised me with how he was able to kind of handle physically was Druid, because number one, he tanked the shot from Icarus and his laser vision, because this man is like Superman, and they made a joke about how Superman was inspired Icarus, and you know, we know how that goes or whatever. But yeah, Druid was he surprised me with how he was able to handle, even though he doesn't have a power that's suited towards physical combat. And honestly, so was Fastos. Really surprised me later on in the movie. But we had to go find Thena and Gilgamesh, because there are two heaviest hitters, honestly, in my book. Yeah, like, Icarus is the most well-rounded, all-around, all-star. He's balanced, basically, in every area. Long range, short range, like, he got it like that. Super durable, all that. But the heaviest hitter is Gilgamesh. And I don't think that he ever wanted that smoke. And that's why he didn't reveal what he revealed until later on, in my book. But they also leave it ambiguous at times that Athena, in her utmost capacity, could reach that level where she could either take down Icarus or, like, be right there, you know what I'm saying? Because Gilgamesh was the only person that seemed to be able to handle her when she would have her fits. But going back even further, you could see the fracturing of the group started when Thena first started breaking down and stuff like that. And Ajax, it's like, Orisham. Oh, there it is. Okay. So Orisham, you've had faith in his plan all this time. Even though you should know what he's done to you. You do know what he's done to you, right? And all the rest of the Eternals. But what do we decide to do? We go and decide that we got to do the same thing for Athena's sake. Like, yeah, that's a problem, man. Like, you're going to erase who she is. Just because I get it. Just because you're losing your memories doesn't mean that you're not going to be who you are. Because at the core, your spirit and your soul is going to be the same. But your experiences shape you. Your memories and all that matters. And taking that away from you that's taking a part of you. And so that just makes it extra greasy when Mr. Big Time Celestial Orisham he's just like, yeah, I created the deviants. I created y'all to take out the deviants. And yeah, I didn't tell y'all because I'm gonna restart y'all anyway. Y'all not gonna remember, and then you gonna keep on doing the job that you've been doing millions of years, not 7,000 years. Thank you. Get back to work. So yeah, he was on job. But he's one of them damn cosmic type beings. Like, he's got a mission, and there's really nothing else that matters to someone like that. So yeah, after we pick up most of the crew again, some of the members had their reservations, like Druid, especially based on how his fallout happened with the group 500 years ago or whatever, and then that caused the complete fracturing of the group. He was more of the logical character that was trying to walk through everything. So I couldn't find faults with his complaints and stuff like that. But it got to a point where it was like, all right, you can be mad, but at the same time, we're all in the same boat. And then sitting out here or not teaming up and doing nothing, it's literally doing nothing. So you're either going to die, or if you're going to complain, then at least do something about it. Because otherwise, you're just going to be reprogrammed again to repeat the same process, right? And then in a similar way, Fastos had kind of the same problem. Now, he had a moment where I really felt for him too, because like how I broke down how Druid's power was basically in stark contrast to how he felt and the place that he felt he had got put over time, being in that role, right, where he wasn't able to do anything, so in a sense enslaved to his fate. In a different way, Fastos was going through his own trials, because yeah, he's the one that's most responsible for the development of the human populace, and in a way you could say that he is the one most at fault for the greatest triumphs, and then the greatest catastrophes that humankind has suffered. And I'm sure there was many before, but the most powerful one that I felt like it was really cool how they picked that one to go to was what happened in Hiroshima, because he did this. Well, he didn't do it, but the simple fact that he provided the technology that helped them get there, you can see where he draws the conclusion that he is basically responsible for this. And in a way, he kind of is. But at the same time, dog, just because you create something doesn't mean that you're telling people to use it in these horrible ways. That's up to them, and that's their prerogative. So I get where he's coming from, and then just seeing him break down, dog, like that almost brought a tear to my eye. It's emotional, dog, because he just starts saying like they don't deserve to be saved. They don't deserve it. And that's where I do respect Ajax, because like she was trying the best way she knew how. She was trying to balance her duty and then balance her family, because she really was like the mother to the group. And I don't know if she actually was older than the rest of them, or if they're all basically like the same age and were programmed and built at the same time or whatever. But clearly there's a whole lot of other Eternals, so who knows, that may not be the case. But I think they were basically created all at the same time, but her personality just lent itself to her. She was the leader, but she was also the motherly figure to all of them. And that just makes it that much worse with what Icarus does, man. Because, boy, like, well, so we find out that Icarus is a traitor, man. He's a fucking slimy traitor. There's no other way to put it. This greasy ass motherfucker, and I love it, okay? I love it. Because, dude, but you could say he's not a traitor. You could say that everybody else is, because at the end of the day, he's trying to stick to his directive. He believes in the mission. And while everyone else is now having second thoughts, you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff. They think it's so wrong. He's like, this is just what we were made to do, so I'm gonna do what our duty dictates us to do. And I don't think that is a terrible philosophy, but dog, you gotta realize when you're being manipulated, bro. Because, like, yes, I understand the importance of what the Celestials are attempting to do and how they think it just works into the natural order, but it'll always find a way to work itself out, bro. And I know there's repercussions for things, but you can't turn a blind eye if you know that's something that's gonna happen. Like, you can't turn a blind eye to that. And now let me tell, for the folks at this point that think that if they did turn a blind eye and let it restart or whatever, that it would go just fine. No, it probably won't, because we're seeing at this point in the MCU, especially based on the man that was running it in Loki and still running it and should still be running it even at this point, you got to make the right decision. Otherwise, the whole thing breaks down. Okay? So, no. If they didn't decide to buck the system on this very particular one, then who knows? Their universe may cease to exist and things like that. So, either way, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So, you might as well fight it. But yeah, Icarus, man, like, I gotta give you respect for your conviction, because he basically stone cold killed Salvahide in the pursuit of the goal, because she told him 7 days before the emergence was supposed to take place, and so he ended up setting her up because he discovered that the deviants had returned before anybody else. But he didn't feel the need to tell anybody because he didn't think it's going to be an issue. Obviously, with the coming emergence, it really shouldn't be. And it wouldn't have been, but he didn't calculate on that one deviant being at that level. Okay, so that was where his plan started backfiring and things like that. But to sell out your family like that, dog, and then like the woman you love, that's pretty crazy, bro. That's pretty crazy, especially how you get manipulated. Because the Celestials don't care, man. They have a job to do, and you saw by the end, yeah, it all works out. You know what I'm saying? Icarus has to get beat down, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, he ends up kicking a whole lot of ass. He was kicking everybody's ass, honestly, for a while. But my guy Fastos, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this shit was kind of hype, son. You can't tell me that you thought the man that was all tech savvy with it was gonna be the one to hold down the strongest man of the Eternals. Like, come on, bro. Oh, strongest man, excuse me. No, not the strongest man. Rest in peace to my nigga Gilgamesh, okay? Because, yeah, we're putting it out there right now. Favorite Eternal, no doubt. I wanted to save it, but, you know, I can't save it any longer because the way he went out hurt, man. It hurt. But it really had to happen because, yeah, this deviant was evolving or whatever, but if Gilgamesh would have been around by the end of the movie, I honestly think he could have helped save everything, and really nobody could have really beat him like that, in my mind. I don't think the deviant could have beat him. I don't think Icarus could have beat him. So I think that's why, you know, he let that go ahead and take place. But him and his connection to Athena was, I'm not gonna lie, that was nice, bro. Like, I'm not here for a lot of the romances in the Marvel, and there was definitely a whole lot more in this movie than any other installment of the Marvel MCU we've seen thus far. So I will say that kind of threw me off, because hell, Disney, I mean, even threw a sex scene in there. My goodness, have some decency, Mickey. You getting real reckless out here nowadays. But like I said, it was biblical, and then when the man and the woman and the heavens and the ocean split apart. But anyway, his connection with Thena was really dope. And Angelina Jolie, you did your thing. You did your thing. Because her not really being able to control herself was, you could tell obviously that's like, it was super rough on her. But also she don't want to lose her memory because she won't know who she is. And you could see that was happening. Like, she would literally forget things. It was like she had dementia, dog. And in a sense, that's kind of what it is. Just chunks of your memory just gone. So you don't, it's confusing. And I can imagine how terrifying that is and stuff like that. Especially for being such a strong person, and to at any moment, you don't know if you're just going to lash out and kill the people that you love. That's why I respected so much that Gilgamesh was like, oh no, when they said they were going to split up and stuff like that, somebody had to watch Thena. He was like, oh no, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of her. And he tells her by the end, like, I would have done it again too. Like, so don't be mad about it, or don't feel sad about it, because I don't regret it. So that was really dope, man. That was really dope. Shout out to my guy Gilgamesh, an all around solid lad. Here. Yes, we got it. We got one drink from my man. Yeah, so by the end, like, they kind of hit the switcheroo on me, because they built it up real heavy all the way throughout the movie. Who the main villain was gonna be, which is the deviant person. And honestly, he was spitting facts. Like, y'all are out here just murdering my kind. Like, you're not saviors, you're just murderers. Like, so y'all are the bad guys. I'm just doing what I gotta do to protect my people, you know what I'm saying? So I did respect where he's coming from and stuff like that, but they did hit the switcheroo on us by the end, because Icarus ends up being the main villain in a sense, obviously besides the celestial guy. But yeah, when he tries to, first off, don't try a warrior like Thena, okay? Yeah, she may not be on her highest A game, but trying to manipulate her using Gilgamesh's words and all that stuff, like, no. And her powers were sick. Being able to transform, like, it's basically like a free-flowing weapon that can turn into defense and offense anytime you like, because it can turn into a shield. She went 2 swords, spear and shield. Like, that was a sick-ass power. I'm not gonna lie. But really, all of them had really cool powers. They all had really cool powers, but definitely in terms of, like, physical combat, hers probably the most useful in terms of just straight utility. So she takes out the deviant to end that threat, and really no one ends up defeating Icarus. It's just, he isn't able to actually go through and kill Cersei, which I did respect. You did redeem yourself to a degree there. Now, what I do not like is this whole, now he's gonna just go fly off into the sun and kill himself. I think that's whack, Disney. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's freaking whack, okay? Having go off and search for something, he can be involved later. He can be a bad guy later. You could do whatever you want with him, but to literally waste him and just fly him off into the sun, I feel like that's a big waste. I have hope. That maybe, the Celestials created the freaking suns and all that stuff. So, who's to say that the Celestial, for some reason, won't go out of his way to save him when he flew in the sun, or do something with him? I don't know. Maybe something. Shit. Because that just, I don't know. That kind of threw me off there. And it's like, I get the whole Icarus flying too close to the sun, but no, dog. That was like, That was just whack. That was just whack. First of all, he gives up. No one even beats him. And then he just goes, flies off and kills himself. All right, that was like, okay, cool. And, you know, so, but, so maybe the Celestial do something, go out of his way, because he sure did something else that went out of his way. Because after the battle was over, and Tiamat, I think, was the new Celestial they were trying to bring out, and somehow I guess he sacrificed himself to bring them all together and keep things in order for now, so there's no real repercussions at the moment. But homeboy said, no, fuck all that. I'll pull him up. So yeah, he definitely went out of his way. That's why maybe he can save Icarus. Maybe he will. Maybe he already has. But he said, oh, so you sacrificed the whole Celestial, huh, to save these people, huh? Okay, I won't mess with them for now, but y'all gonna come with me. Judgment time. Yeah. We not asking no questions. We going now. That was, yeah. So he pulled up and he's ready to go. So they went off somewhere and they gone. So that was it, man. And yo, like I said, honestly, just an all around, like, so much lore, so many characters that I fucked with. I think they balanced it really well, because I was worried at times that certain characters we weren't going to get to give them their shine. You know what I'm saying? Like Kingu, like bro, he was funny. He was cracking jokes the whole time. Shout out to his valet too. I forget his name, but he was actually a nice little. Marvel can do that sometimes though. They come up with these little side characters that actually are pretty legit, man. They're pretty dope, because they'll say some stuff that's like super profound or whatever, and actually spurs on the team of extraordinary beings, and that's the most normal person around or whatever, right? So yeah, I loved all of that. So they were definitely some standouts, but I think Angelina Jolie, she did her thing, but honestly I was expecting a little bit more, because for the trailers and stuff like that, I thought she was the leader, but not even close. Honestly, she was just an extra side character, really. She didn't get a whole lot of shine at all until definitely the third act of the movie, and after Gilgamesh died. So I was expecting a little more from her, but she did good in her role. Dude who played Gilgamesh, oh, bro, I forget your name, but you're the man. You are the man. Like, you stole the show from me, dog. Like, no doubt. Favorite Eternal. The other person that really stole the show from me, bro, was Druid. Like, he was being logical, and he was telling you when he had a problem. Like, and it made sense, bro. He's not just saying things that make no sense. Like, if he had no leg to stand on, I don't think I would have messed with him so hard. But he was literally pointing out the issues with everything they was talking about. Like, the issues with Ajax and her leadership, and this dysfunctionality that was just coursing through the team, and how it was eventually going to come to a boil, and it did. And I respected him pointing all that out, because honestly it needed to be pointed out. Icarus, like, I didn't expect you to do what you did, but I respect the conviction. I just didn't like, don't say that he went off and just killed himself. Okay, let's not. No, I feel like that's a waste. But in the end, this really doesn't mean anything, because number one, we still have the possibility of variants, so we could definitely get another Icarus from some other universe. I don't know. Like I said, everything's open in Marvel at this point, and we definitely see with the end credits that it's extra open, because they also mentioned that there's other Eternals out there made by other Celestials, and one pops up. And who would it be? It's a little dwarf, but it's not a dwarf. The dwarf is just the squire, the bard that precedes the main man. And the main man was Star Fox. It was Thanos' brother. I was like, what? Where did that come from? Like, honestly, I have no idea who this person. I think his name is Star Fox. I think that's who they said his name is. I have no idea what he's about and all that stuff. But the suit was looking clean and he looked hella strong. And he had one of the orbs that come from the leaders of the Eternals. So he said he's here to help also. So if they can gather a bunch of leaders of different Eternal groups, then yeah, they're definitely gonna stock up on that power again. So, but yeah, and they did say that Eternals will return. So obviously, I figured that would be the case. Because there's way too much lore not to go into it more. Just include these dudes and everything else that's going on, because literally, like, you could connect everything to these people because they were connecting all the history to themselves. Like, King Arthur always had a crush on Athena, and it's just like these random stories where it's just like ridiculous. And you can talk about, oh yeah, I remember when Thor used to be a little boy, you know, tagging along, running around my legs and stuff, and now he won't even return my calls. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy. What if that's, who knows? Like, these dudes could be telling all straight facts. Like, who knows what they're responsible for? We went to Mesopotamia. We went to Babylon. We went to the Aztecs. We went to the Amazon. We went everywhere, okay? So, definitely want to say it was a dope movie. I'm not sure what's going on with Cersei's boyfriend or whatever, but I had no interest in him, obviously, until the end credit scene where dude has a cursed sword like Zoro from One Piece or something. I have no idea. But, hey, you know, we'll wait and see what's going on there. The only thing that it reminds me of is when he went to touch the sword or something like that. It's like, there's like this black matter that was converging. It reminds me of I forget what it's called, but it's in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And if y'all have seen that, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, that pretty much does it for the Eternals. Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention that, like I said, I watched Shang-Chi the other day, right? You know, before we actually gonna drop on Patreon tomorrow. Hello, oh, hey, well, quick plug. All right, but the end credit scene of that. Well, number one, there was several things that happened in Shang-Chi where it was like, okay, this has to be linked to Eternals. Number one, they're talking about this meteor came down from the heavens and it left a crater or something like that, and then the rings came from that. Or there could have been another origin story. I'm pretty sure we got something similar when it came to the herb and how it actually came from a freaking asteroid or something like that, and then Wakanda, where Wakanda is, and somehow that's how that power got there. So are these different random powers that happened thousands on thousands of years ago just different things that left behind by the Eternals? Because these rings, the 10 rings, they definitely seem something like, I don't know, like Fastos would make. Hello. Is this thing on? Excuse me. This man was over here stepping on rings and all this other stuff and doing the Iron Man, Doctor Strange combo shit, man. His tech is on another level where it seems magical. So, yeah, he looked like he had all the rings that you could need. And plus, he created rings to link all the Eternals in order for them to pool their power together to kill a Celestial. Alright, so I would think maybe that the Eternals got something to do with Shang-Chi and Black Panther, and who knows all the other things they got that they are tied and linked with. But Mickey, Good for you, man. Keep dropping the lore, man. I'm here for it. Keep dropping it on my head. It's like Mickey just ain't stopping right now. He's got too much stuff coming out. And, you know, I hadn't seen my uncle in a long time before this, you know, this week. But, boy, he been coming through blessing me with the earliest of Christmas gifts. And we got a whole lot more to talk about when it comes to the things he's got in store for me. But that's going to do it for this video. I have rambled on long enough. Please let me know. Comment down below. What did you think about this movie? Who was your favorite Eternal? Is Icarus a bitch? Or is he actually a real nigga for being the only person not to be a traitor on the team? Do you feel like certain people were underutilized? Overall, do you think that it lived up to the billing? Because this is the first time we're getting to some cosmic galactic shit, man. But you know where I stand. I think it was a dope movie. But you know me, I'm probably a little biased. I'm always a sucker for good lore. You know what I'm saying? You know, as long as you can drop a bunch of lore on me, and it's going to have a whole lot more that I feel like I could pull from it going forward, then you probably ain't going to get much complaints out of me. You know, couple nitpicks here or there. Not going to say it was perfect. Some of the resolutions was a little eh. But overall, you pulled it off, Nick. You pulled it off. That's gonna do it for me. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Uncle Mickey, boy, the Chronicles of Mickey.